All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Of the Devil. Last time, the revelations about Sosuke turned out to be true in that he is the actual heir to the blue blood fortune, but his loyalty to the family that raised him is very, very, very strong. And he refuses to budge or get blue blood help to take the easy way out of this case. Whew. So we're gonna have to try to defend him anyway. I really do think the suspect is gonna be the blue blood lady for sure. Just because the police guy, I don't know, he seems like a Mike Meekins type. I could be wrong, but there's a suspect reduction. Hey, Olga, welcome to the stream. There's like a suspect reduction going on in this case. It's like the only thing I assumed that won't happen as we get further on, as further cases come on, and that there's only two people we really know it could possibly be. It's either the police guy or it's Han, and so it's probably gonna be Han. Hey, hello, Mirage, welcome to the stream. But also, meanwhile, it looks like Reyes has come to Morgan's apartment drunk to protect her and might divulge some information. Oh, wait, this is the best part of the vid. He breaks down the horsepower. For years, they all abided by this gentleman's agreement where their engines would have horsepower capped at 270 or so. To avoid this, like, arms race of engineering in a country with such a huge street racing scene. Right. But the crazy part is, it was only ever on paper. They were building and selling cars with 300 plus horsepower. And they all just listed the horsepower as 270 domestically. Yeah. And God, everybody knew it. I mean, they were selling the same car with the same engine, with the same goddamn torque rating in two different countries. And they were saying, oh, I don't know, I think it's only 276. That's crazy. I was born in the wrong generation. I'll die without even knowing what gasoline smells like. Gasoline is odorless. What? It's odorless. They added a strong smell during refinement so that the leaks could be noticeable. Oh, I didn't know that. That's natural gas, you dummy. Scare me for a second, jeez. And try and ruin something for me that I never even had a chance of experiencing. You better get it right. Doesn't know the difference between gas and gasoline. So, you knew Chopin? So, you knew Chopin? God. We dated, okay? Happy. I wouldn't have guessed that. Damn. Oh, wow. I wouldn't have guessed that either. For how long? Once. Which is not a lot. Duh, I know. It was such a shitty date. Wore his uniform like I was supposed to salute. God, was he cheap. He said, would you tip the bartender? And he got all confused. He just handed me 2 cans. Why would I tip? 'Cause you tipped the goddamn bartender, man. That's why. I always tell when someone grew up with money. Maybe they just can't hide it. Maybe none of them ever learned the decency to try. Rockford's not so bad. I mean, it's obvious still, but The earhead part kind of offsets it. Yes, that's... What do you mean? Emma comes from money? Guess even you can tell a joke. Worst date I've ever been on. The waitress looked like she was about gonna stab him. You think he was allergic to salt? Well, with all the nitpicking he did. And then he has the balls to tip 10%. Damn, oof. That is bad. Oh, what do you know? You probably haven't been on a date since the 60s. How old do you think I am? I was talking about the tip. What tip? Oh, the tip. Oh, yeah, but still. Do you even have a dating profile? Or you just hang around funeral homes and castles and shit looking for other creatures of the night? I don't have a dating profile. You met Chopin through an app. Yeah, a dating app for cops. There's a dating app for cops? Yeah, just for cops. Just for all. Why is it called Just for All if it's just for cops? It's a oh, it's a pun. Well, not really a pun. Wordplay. Play on words for justice for all. The cop catchphrase. We say it all the time when we catch people. There's an app for everyone. Well, even lawyers with sun allergies. I don't think there's an app for me. Hang on. Let me project a hologram of the world's smallest violin out of my eye socket. I'm stuck anyway. This one ain't mad. She was terrible. Her teeth. She's trying to smile or some shit. She was all teeth. I think it was her first kiss. You remember your first? I don't know why everyone's always so concerned with firsts. Hell does that mean? Don't worry about it. I have never once given a second thought to anything you say, so get that straight. And slap the guy's dumb face at the end of that date. But then I didn't even recognize him. When Lon and I came in, his face, he was face down. Whole floor, blood. Just blood and paper. Couldn't turn him over. Had to preserve the scene. Just had to leave him there. Sorry. Sorry? I'm not sorry. I'm angry. You seem to get angry a lot. You've been to anger management. You know what that's about. Managing anger. Keeping calm. Not letting your emotions control you. I'm great at all of that. If you say so. I do say so. What would I'm feeling most of the time? I'm a goddamn saint with how calm I can stay. I'm just too small. Little hole in the bottom of a big water tower. Fills up faster than it'll ever drain. If I was big, I'd trample this whole city down. Long, long before my anger's gone. Didn't even seem like people from the hall. Just two people-shaped things. Face down in blood. Sosuke and Chopin. They were both face down. What? Yeah. Because Rogers was cuffing Sosuke on the ground? Rogers? What a klutz. That guy couldn't cuff a cow. That does not seem that as easy as your simile is proclaiming. A cow? I don't know, something that'd cuff easily. A dress shirt. What you want, a round of applause? Everyone clap for the world's greatest, wordsmith. Shut up. Persuading her to remove her shoes and socks before tossing her up the stairs was the very upper limit of my patience. Making it off the floor onto the bed is up to her. I don't care, I can sleep on my couch. I could sleep in my chair if I had to. I can fall asleep in any position, actually. It's not actually worth bragging about, especially to myself. So now a homicide detective knows where I live. I guess the address is on the business card. Downside of a home office. At least it's fun to imagine how sick she'll be tomorrow. Can't remember a time I got that drunk, thankfully. Can't remember a time I got that mad. And the last time I cried... screw this. Introspection's a scam. I'm not nearly so flush I can afford to waste time on it. Oh my god, stop smiling like that. Yes, you found a teacher's missing key card. No, you're not Sherlock Holmes. Or whoever his lawyer was. Oh, I'm sure. You're gonna be the most popular kid in school overnight now. Well, I wasn't being that sarcastic. You better hope it's somewhat true. Deadline for your little club sign-up period is next week, isn't it? Actually, you'll need to find 4 members. I'm gonna be out that day. Family thing. What a face. You show everyone puppy dog eyes that pathetic? Look, if you're gonna be a lawyer, you'll need to get better at reading fine print. See, you need 5 members to found a club, but if you have at least 2 students present at the qualification time, you can get an extension. I mean, even you can get 1 person to join, right? Just use that winning personality of yours. It's a family thing. I can't say no. Nothing. I didn't say anything. $11:31 a.m. August 16th. State Building. Floor 48.
They must have waved me down over 5 times. I've been in private banks with less active security than this.
Were they private banks that had recently had a shooting?
No.
Then the comparison seems flawed. Armed guards in the halls, drones outside the windows. Androids standing firm in the streets, triple spectrum scans at every entrance. They really rolled out the red carpet for you this time.
If they were this concerned, why didn't they just move the trial outside of the city?
The district attorney said as much, but the city council overrode them. The district attorney? You mean Miss Rockford? Miss Rockford's boss. Word of the attack yesterday is already trickling out. They can't afford to delay or look like they've been successfully intimidated.
There is such a thing as overcompensating.
Not on the stage of security theater. Were you able to look over the DNA analysis that Cyanus completed, Adonai? The report on the bindings? Yes. Alright, we gotta read some evidence. Detective London testifies that this one vault door was unlocked when he and Detective Reyes arrived on the scene of the crime. He utilized the physical key like all the other doors in the premises. Nothing suspicious. Yeah, that extra vault. Yeah. Someone was hiding in there. I bet it was Han, because she would have a key in there. Her knife. Mass-produced medium-sized combat knives sold a wide variety of outdoors or hunting vendors. Covered at the bottom of an ash-filled barrel in the alley just outside the crime scene. Bears clear signs of blood in the blade despite being significantly charred by flames. Sayre's unique but nonetheless admissible forensic analysis found type B and type AB blood. Last time I'll ever lead something so important was Sosuke. How the hell did it end up outside? Chopin's autopsy. Summary of medical examiner Sato's findings on the death of Tariq Chopin. Cause of death, penetrative cardiac stab wound. Posterior, death was instantaneous. Notes, inside, externally mounted biomonitor reported cardiac activity cessation around 10:14:04. The subject was stabbed and impaled from behind with a large bladed instrument approximately 2 to 3 centimeters thick. Wound shows unusual pattern of aggravation as if blade was jostled within the wound cavity post-mortem. No other injuries of note. Creek's autopsy. Severe blood loss and hemorrhaging followed the detonation of a mag rail slug inside the subject's torso. Close range 1-2 meter modded spinal brace. Likely a relatively low-cost, low-tech corrective measure used for a child injury or growth defect. That spinal brace prevented the slug from shattering completely, slightly prolonging the subject's life in exchange for multiplying damage to the internal organs several-fold. So their childhood medical records indicate DT3, but no signs that the disease seemed to exist at this time. No methamphetamine in the bloodstream. Most likely, subject recovered due to natural robustness. Right, the binding. Skin matches, sweat matches, Sosuke. Skin matches, Sosuke. Blood matches, Sosuke, and separate E. Miller. Okay. Found on Tank's person. Yeah, the gun was found in him. And he was released. Yeah. Alright, the crane tower. Yeah. Sergeant, let's see. Here we go. The Redding, let's see. Redding is already illegible, but the watermark remains in the corner. A Cyanus watermark. Let's see. Alright, Tank's autopsy and Trey's autopsy. I don't think that will, not for too much. The windows. Yep, that's how we prove that, yep. Additional analysis buildings from the windows and doors are effectively soundproof when closed. A whistle, yeah, we know that. That's the, friggin' secret, blue blood signal. Any articles that we haven't read? Oh, yeah, we always read the articles, at the time we get them. Alright. Kim, yeah, she's the Blue Blood Old Guard. Dislikes part-timers, binge watchers, ad vandalism. Likes persimmon. Handbags, joint cracking. I love cracking my knuckles too. Can slice an onion paper thin in 11 seconds. Shooting clay pigeons, promote from within. Dislikes phones at the dinner table. Likes bodybuilding, archery, bonsai. Undefeated at enjoying spicy food. Feels like cedar, tobacco, iron, and dried blood. Handshake vice-like. Likes hot springs, cold beer, warm tea. Dislikes waking up before her alarm. Cat person. I happen to be allergic. Mark answer is yes. Huh. Never forgets a password shorter than 10 characters. Favorite season, fall. Yeah, we got that one. We got that one last time. Oh yeah, the host. Yeah, well, we know what that is. All right, we are ready to roll. Gave me a lot to think about on the ride over. You're looking much better.
I don't feel better. They gave me some sort of injection last night. I woke up in much more pain, but they still insisted on taking off all of my bandages.
Some sort of injection. Sasuke consented to intravenous injection of a recovery accelerant at 9:33 p.m. last night. You consented without knowing what it was.
I nodded. Thought it would help me sleep. That interrogation room floor isn't exactly ideal for rest.
Spoiled brat. This is the same guy who was confidently telling me he was fine with going to jail. What about you, Adonai? Were you able to get any rest? I slept like a rock. Eventually. Didn't even wake up when a certain unwelcome guest stumbled out the door in the early morning. Thank God. Yeah, that is very suspicious, Almirage. What the fuck was that injection? Oh, God.
But it was an accelerant, huh? I thought there was something familiar about this discomfort. They gave it to us back in the military on occasion. You heal up faster, but it still takes the same toll overall. Explains why I feel like all my bruises are fresh.
Why'd they wait until now to start giving Susuke medical attention, though? Emma must have realized he was getting a bit silly. Trying to accuse you of murdering 5 people when you look like you had been thrown through a windshield. Don't worry, Sosuke. You are still handsome, even without the rugged edge that your injuries provided.
Hearing that doesn't make me happy, you know?
Then why are you blushing? It's not like you're spotless. You still have a mark under your left eye.
Hmm? No, I've had that since birth.
Oh.
I was told once that it's charming. Why'd you bring it up? Is it not charming?
So needy. Thank you for clarifying that for the court, Detective. That was the same story you told me yesterday down in the lower wards. He and Reyes were the second on the scene, so they focused on clearing the lower floors before meeting up with Rogers. Good to have it on the record so I can look it over. The Detective Reyes runs a second pair of officers on scene. Oh, that's good. I'm glad we don't have to go over that again. As for the next item on the docket, calling the defendant to testify. Seems like it's going to be a nothing burger. Not entirely, Your Honor. My client waives his right to decline. Does he now?
Sosuke Ikaria. I'm head of personnel security at the Ikaria Financial Group.
And the IFG. That's a family-run small business. Mom and pop operation, I take it?
Family run?
Well, Mr. Ikaria, I feel like the court already has a strong understanding of the circumstances you found yourself in. How you were captured and tortured by these 4 known criminal associates, all of whom are now dead. How you were found standing over the body of Officer Chopin. I suppose all anyone can ask is, that's not true. He was found lying on the ground. What do you have to say for yourself?
I can only tell you what I remember, even if that's mostly pain.
How about after the pain? How did it end?
I woke up to the feeling of my blood drying on my skin.
Familiar sensation for a head of personnel security, I assume? Objection.
I can answer. It was a novel experience. I pulled off my blindfold and felt like I'd stepped into the desert. White flaring in my eyes, heart thumping in my temple. But I realized there's a gun in my waistband. The indicator shows it was spent, didn't know what to make of it.
Does this gun look familiar to you, Mr. Ikaria?
Yes, that's the same gun.
Let the record show the witness has admitted to wielding the same mag US used to kill 2 of the victims. Is this okay?
I stumbled forward towards the door, and past it the whole room seemed red.
And after that, you don't remember? Anything else you'd like to say to the court, Mr. Ikaria, before we finish?
There is one more thing I recall. I remember holding my sword.
So he admits it. You remember holding your sword. Woof. That ain't good. That's very interesting of you to say, Mr. Ikaria.
It was on the ground, and it's important to me, so I bent over and picked it up.
Do you recall the next thing you did with that sword, Mr. Ikaria?
No. The next thing I know, I've been transported and read my rights.
I see. Your Honor, do you feel we need to continue? The questioning. The trial. Ouch. Ready to begin cross-examination at any time, Your Honor. If you insist. Round 1, fight! Surely we're past round 1 by now. Sword and the gun.
I woke up in that room blindfolded and in pain. Managed to untie my bindings and stumbled forward.
I think it was probably that one.
That's when I noticed the gun sticking out of my waistband. I was alarmed, but the ammo was already spent. When I stepped through the door, everything on the other side was red. All I could think to do was bend down to pick Yoru up off the floor. Next thing I know is in an ambulance, having my rights read to me.
Sosuke isn't lying about anything, is he? No, he's just subconsciously glossing over a certain detail. It's gotta be the bindings. There it is. Yeah, how could he, yeah, like he would cut, if he picked up the sword, how did he cut his bindings? Yeah. He's just glossing over a certain key detail. Picked up the sword after that. All the trial prep in the world can't undo multiple concussions, I suppose. Sosuke couldn't have untied his way out of his bindings. Not when they were very clearly cut by something sharp. Objecting to a statement from your own client now?
What do you mean, Morgan?
These pieces of cloth were recovered from the room where you were held, Sosuke. And they've very clearly been cut. You didn't struggle your way out, you cut your way out.
Yes, now that you mention it, that's right. But if I cut myself out first...
Your Honor, the people ask that the defense do their testimony coaching before the trial begins from now on. As it stands, it's been a colossal waste of time. Yeah. I mean, this detail probably isn't important, right? It's very important, Your Honor. If he used a blade to cut himself free from his bindings, that means Sosuke couldn't have gotten free. Until someone handed him a blade! Meaning that the people's theory of daring escape mid-interrogation is doing just fine, thank you for asking. None of us in the court here today seriously believe this man or his memory can be taken as the truth. Then forget him and just look at the bindings. They're hard physical evidence and they have to have been cut. By something sharp. What do we know that fits that description? You think it was Yoru? His captors kept him down in that room most of the night, then cut him from his bindings with the sword to bring him into the main room for questioning, where he turned the tables on them before slaughtering them all. Badass! Well, counselor, are we done here? Could the katana have been used to cut those bindings? Looking at the actual bindings themselves. I'm going to stay. Well, let's check out the sword for a second. Just to be sure. Just to be sure. Residue. I'll admit it is possible the sword cut those bindings. But anything's possible. And the DNA evidence points to a different answer. Okay, good. Yay, I got that right. Your Honor, if we could please draw the court's attention to the forensic analysis of the bindings. You'll notice your client's blood, obviously. Yes, obviously. But upon closer inspection, you'll also see that blood from Miller was found as well. The poncho guy. Who was stabbed in the throat, as the court may recall. By your client's sword, as is no doubt still fresh in the jury's memory. Well, how can that be, Your Honor? What do you mean? Is it not sharp enough? What a piece of... How can Miller's blood have ended up on the bindings that kept my client from leaving the room in which he was held? Unless Miller was killed before my client was ever cut free. Ugh.
That's...
Kind of a big deal. Isn't it? I thought so, at least.
She's lying. That's not possible.
You thought wrong, Counselor. It's true that the katana has blood from Miller's stabbing on it. And I'll admit that it's surprising to see his blood on your client's bindings. Miller's autopsy showed he has no wounds besides the fatal puncture in his neck. So the bindings on my client had to have been intact at the time Miller died. But those bindings didn't need to be cut before your client could kill him. What? If your client's wrists were left bound for questioning, he could have stolen the gun, killed Tangson Creek, then picked up his sword, and as he just stated in his testimony, and set to work. You think my client was drugged and beaten before killing 4 men with his wrists bound? It's hardly impossible for a man with his talents. And there's no other explanation for why you would have cut his bindings with a sword that, as you insist, must have already been used to kill Miller. No other explanation. Not even if he used something else to break out of confinement. Ah, the knife! What if my client has simply used this to break out? What the hell is that? Way overcooked from what I can tell. It's a murder weapon, Your Honor. One recovered from the scene of the crime.
That knife. Yes, that's what I grasped when I first woke up.
That's impossible. What she said. There's nothing about a knife found seared to perfection in the ARC's data. Is it overcooked or seared to perfection? This knife was not found inside the building, Your Honor. I retrieved it from the alley immediately beside it. Your android did. Need her to submit video evidence of the entire afternoon to verify it, doubting Thomas? It's not the android I'd have trouble taking at her word, Counselor. What forensics have been performed on it? There are no fingerprints remaining, and the DNA present in the blood is too damaged to be of use. But I have identified at least 2 different blood typings. AB- and B-, Your Honor. Your Honor. We are, of course, interested in forensic analysis of any evidence that seemed pertinent to the crime at hand. But this was retrieved from an alleyway dumpster. A soot-filled drum near an alleyway dumpster. From an alley in the lower wards. Without strong evidence linking it to the crime, I see no reason to entertain the idea that this is some kind of 4th murder weapon. 3rd murder weapon. What? The bat was post-mortem. The point still stands. Well, how about it, Morgie? Any link between this totally not suspicious fire-broad knife and our crime? Or should we just throw it back in the garbage? Again, it was a soot-filled drum by the garbage. Of course, I have more to go on than mere proximity, Your Honor. I have proof right here that this knife was what Sosuke used to cut himself free. Let's see. I think it should be the bindings again because God damn, I'm not sure if she's gonna say the sword has blood from all three, but the bindings have only both. Oh yeah, he should have his own blood on it, right? The katana. That's your proof? Of course it is. Just look at it. You think he got the bindings on his wrist with a sword that long? That would be terribly awkward to do. I knew it. God damn it. Okay, so I was right to be. Suppose the circumstances were pretty extraordinary, yes. The bindings, what of them? They were clearly cut with something sharp. Yes, we've been over that. And the knife is sharp. I'm not g- Oh, god damn it. Oh, I fucked that. Dang it. His medical records, really. Just take another look at that. Your client's medical intake record? Little late to still be drumming up sympathy, but if there are shirtless photos in the file, I suppose I have a duty. There are.
What? I did not remove my shirt for...
If I may please direct the court's attention to one specific item. Slight laceration found on left hand. What do you mean by slight? Like a paper cut? More like a cutting board accident. Neither paints a very gallant picture. But if he had a cut on his finger when he was first arrested, then it must have been sustained around the time of his escape. Like when he was using a knife to cut himself out of bindings when blindfolded. Yes, that makes sense. Even a master swordsman can nick himself on his blade every now and then. His katana was found with a lot of blood on it, yes. But none of his own. That's what I was trying to say in the first place. God damn it. That's what I was trying to say in the first place. Ah, fuck berries. Fuck berries. I don't count that one. This is what I was trying to say. Ah, dang it. Adonai is correct. Yori was thoroughly tested. I'm bound to have blood residue matching Miller, Trey, and Officer Chopin. But not one drop of Sosuke's. That's what I was trying to say by presenting the sword. God dang it. I think that should have. I don't fully agree with that one. Like they're even using the sword. I was trying to say that the sword didn't have his blood on it. Ah, fuck berries. I agree with the medical records definitely being the right one, but I think the sword should not have been in the evidence pile. Because it's basically pointing to the same logic. I think that, yeah, the medical records make sense, but I don't think that the sword should have been in as one of the choices there. Because it's like, you can come to the same conclusion by talking about the sword and then pointing at the medical record second by the fact that he had the nick on him to prove that the sword not having his blood on it. Jeez Louise. But not one drop of Sosuke's. Meanwhile, we have a knife right here ready to be submitted into evidence and studied under every microscope the state can find. That just so happened to have Sosuke's exact blood type on the tip. AB minus. That blood type doesn't match anyone in this case's full file except for Sosuke. What? I do blood type fortune telling. So I have a hobby. Shoot me. 2 shots fired right to the base of my skull. Counselor Morgan, perhaps you might grace us all with your formal request. I called for this knife to be submitted into the record and forensically analyzed as quickly and thoroughly as possible, because I believe that it is the murder weapon that actually ended Miller's life.
A knife to the neck.
Would be much easier to pull off than using the very tip of a sword. Alright, I hypothesize.
Nice recovery. Hello, Nagitona. Welcome to the stream.
Perfect, Ukemi.
In other words, then, you're asking for the medical examiner to reevaluate whether this knife might be a better fit for the wound in Miller's neck.
Yes. Did you just repeat what she said, but slightly rephrased? A compositional tactic to surpass metal gear.
It's worth repeating, Your Honor, because the people understand the full weight of what this knife implies. It can overturn this entire case in an instant, depending on what Sato finds. Emma's repeating what I said because she's stunned. I just flashed in my hand and it was one card away from a full house.
The people have no objections, Your Honor.
This trial requires that we fully examine this new piece of evidence.
Cool. So does someone have a number? Is there a group chat room for everyone who works for the government, or...
Dr. Sato is already on her way.
So there is a group chat and I'm not in it.
She'll begin the examination as soon as she arrives.
Guess we just slack off until she's done then.
It occurs to me, Your Honor, that we ought to thoroughly examine why this possibly critical piece of evidence was not found during the police's investigation. The investigation and preservation of the crime scene was a joint effort between the police and Sienna's security. Then perhaps our next witness can shine a light on the source of this deficiency. I knew we would get her up on the stand. Adelaide Hahn, site manager at Science Security. I served as supervisor for the scene of the crime in case 356319B.
Wow, can I call you lady?
Nah, babe. What should I call you, though?
Well, you can keep calling me babe or...
You address the adjutant as Your Honor. Awfully cold name for such a heart. Why the hell wasn't this knife found sooner? Well, I hate to throw a business partner under the bus, but we at Science Security maintain the perimeters and stand watch over secured scenes. It's the cops who do the searching and flagging. You'd have to ask them why they didn't go dumpster diving.
It was a drum.
The police aren't your business partners, though, are they? I don't understand the question, Your Highness. Science Security is a cell corporation owned by FIC Holdings, an offshore rebranding and effective pseudonym for Kim Acquisitions, aka the heart of the criminal organization operating in the lower wards that is commonly referred to as the Blue Blood Mafia. If you say so, sounds like it's above my pay grade. Permission to treat the witness as hostile.
Can I get popcorn first?
Do you know why the state cooperates with the Blue Bloods to this degree? Why you're allowed to run your businesses and manage your petty fiefdoms? Petty fiefdoms? How about this? It's a free country and we're loyal, capitalist, tax-paying entrepreneurs. Got your own explanation? It's because you're insignificant. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Neither you nor your organization are on trial here today. That's not a favor, and it's not a show of respect. It's just reality. The state is slow to shift its priorities. You aren't the focus of this investigation. But if you impede the trial's progress by dodging questions and playing stupid, you'll find the state shifts its attention to your neck very fast. Got questions for me then, sugar? Why wasn't the alley searched? Because the police found all the murder weapons within minutes. No rational person walked into that bloodbath and thought, gee, I wonder if there's a knife buried under a pile of ash in the alley downstairs. Your witness, counselor. My turn. If my hunch is right, it'll be critical that I gather as much information as possible about the scene of the crime, and the ways in which it changed after I left. When did Sienna's security first arrive on the premises, ma'am? Midnight? About 2 hours after my client was arrested. You're sure? Checked messages and saw the time right on my phone when we got there. You were there yourself? Trouble with being a site supervisor? Gotta stay on site. Lot of naps and parked cars. Han, let's slip a few details about the building's setup when we first met. Time to get it all out on the record. Do you know who owns the building that these crimes took place in? I don't. Do you know who installed the security features on location? It was Sienna's. Must have gotten hired by someone. Not my department, sugar. But you recognize some of the handiwork. Front door was Sienna's. Individual vault room locks, too. Ah, there we go. Nice. That front door was locked when officers first arrived. They had to shoot it open. Shouldn't your security systems recognize officers of the law? Our doors use physical locks. A lot of folks in low wars don't trust a fob scanner that can be hacked. Physical locks can be bypassed too. Sure, but at least that takes time. Is there any way to unlock that front door without its key? I mean, you could use a spare, right? Is there any way to lock the front door without its key? Yeah, but the technique's real complicated. You walk it out and let it shut behind you. That door is designed to lock behind you automatically. It's a selling point for a building designed to be secure. That knife was found in the alley out only yesterday, even though the police should have searched there. Yeah, seems like not everyone did their job. Did you do yours? Was the alley monitored around the clock? It was? Any disturbances to the scene in the alley? No, none. It was a warm night, I'll bet. You asking me about the weather? Not exactly grade A small talk. Relevance, Your Honor? I was trying to be polite, but if you insist, were the windows open in the building when you arrived? There's a lot of windows, not sure. The crime scene and the room directly below it. Were there windows open? Yes, those windows were open when science arrived. Strange. Didn't it rain that night? That drizzle was over before 9 p.m. And even if it had been a downpour, it's not a crime to risk getting your window sills wet. Alright, so the building wasn't completely sealed by the time you got there. Thank you. That was a very enlightening conversation. But it raises just one question. Whoever could have got inside the building before Chopin and Rogers? Hell are you talking about? Your Honor, perhaps Counselor Morgan might narrow down her absurd, attention-grabbing claim first, so that people can properly eviscerate it.
Yeah, what she said.
Someone got into the building before Chopin and Rogers did. That's become obvious. What are you talking about? The only way into that building was through the front door. Chopin had to shoot it down. Are you suggesting that he didn't even try turning the handle first? That front door wasn't locked at all. That's not even possible. The witness just testified the door locks automatically. Maybe someone left the door propped open then. God damn it. Ha ha. Fine. Yes, what I meant to say is the front door was properly locked all night. God damn it. Yes, it was, but in that case, we know the front door was locked all night. We know the master key was found on Creek's body on the 3rd floor. Then, where do I even... What the hell are you trying to say anyway? Just that they use a spare key. Oh, a spare key. How convenient. But completely unfounded. The witness just testified that a spare key is the only other way in. But there's no proof that a spare key even exists. Probably not, no. Probably. Oh, I'm sorry, Olga. Get some rest, okay? So how about I show the courtroom where it was hidden then? Under the dumpster. The dumpster. What is your obsession with presenting evidence found in the garbage? I'm going to ignore that comment. And besides, there was no spare key in the dumpster. It must have been underneath it. What? Is that true? Hey, don't look at me. I have no idea what she's talking about. The dumpster has clearly been moved, as indicated by the markings left behind from dirty rain in the lower wards. We can all see those marks, Counselor. But it could have been moved at any point after the last time it rained down there. The witness just testified that the last time it rained was 9 p.m. on the night of the murder. So what? Your claims that a spare key to the front door was left underneath that dumpster.
Not so dissimilar from leaving a spare key under a potted plant.
Or a setting stone, or a Biwa statue.
That isn't anything like either of those examples. That dumpster is massive, and its wheels are long gone. Correct. So if anyone had moved out after police had arrived, the cops definitely would have heard it. If it was moved after the rain stopped and before Chopin and Rogers got there, that narrows it down to sometime between 9 and 10 p.m. And of course, someone would only bother to move a dumpster that heavy if they knew what they'd find underneath it. Someone like... Han. It had to be Han, of course. Counselor. As a known associate of the Blue Blood Mafia and an employee of the security company who installed the front door at the crime scene, she'd have known exactly where to find a spare key. That dumpster also happens to be incredibly heavy. But I don't believe this witness's more documentation has been submitted to the court. Could you estimate for us your approximate lifting strength? You lift with your back, not your arms, lady. Pushing strength, then. Me? I couldn't push over a flower. Fact is, you're just bullshit. No proof of any of what you said. We could check for your fingerprints on the front door. You'll find them because I've used it plenty of times. It's my job. We could check for your fingerprints on the dumpster. That thing's filthy. You get nothing but partials from a bunch of unlisted fanatics and whoever else stumbling around that alley. Would we? Dunno. But after you do, I might just recall how I nearly puked when I saw that crime scene. And how I might have stepped out into that alley to catch my breath. Would you believe I rested my hands on that dumpster then? This line of questioning is unproductive, Your Honor. Counselor Morgan cannot substantiate her theory because the fact is, there is nothing strange about Hans prints being on any centimeter of that building. Not when she spent nearly 2 full days patrolling it. True, fingerprints won't be enough. I need something more impactful. And I've got just the thing. What? Han was there that night. She was there before the police ever were, and she was there long before Sayana showed up at midnight. And I can prove it right now. How? Exactly. What? I'm going to prove how she got there before the police did. What the hell was that? Hadn't I? Did you really have to do that again? What is happening right now? This is a simple whistle. Every time I press it... Oh. Every ad in the courtroom picks up a rather nasty frequency. As does any phone with a proper receiver app installed. So, should the witness be excused so she can answer her phone, Your Honor? You brought that shit into the courtroom! Where exactly was this whistle found? At the scene of the crime, of course. Near where Creek's body lay. Police must have disregarded it as a keychain or toy. Didn't anyone ever teach them that we find a button, you should press it? That's the exact opposite of what you should do at a crime scene! Yesterday, Dr. Sato testified that Crick was alive for several minutes after being shot. If he pressed this whistle even once in that time, the witness's phone would have started getting alerts. As I've demonstrated to the court just now. Anything to say for yourself, Miss Han? Did someone install the app on your phone as a prank? its reception has a limited range. The lower wards is a tight-knit, high-density community. How far could you have been? Far. I wasn't in the area that night. It doesn't matter what range she was at, Your Honor. The defense claims that Han entered the building with some kind of spare key, letting the front door lock behind her to block Chopin and Rogers. But those two officers did enter after they shot the lock. At which point they didn't run into the witness. Creek was shot around 9:45 p.m. Considering the time it would have taken Han to arrive and retrieve the spare key, she would only have been a few steps ahead of Chopin and Rogers. After coming so far with your brilliant spare key deduction, are you now to claim that she simply ran away? No. At that point, she would have had to hide. First floor vault. Since they didn't see her, logically we must conclude that she hid in one of the rooms on that floor. That is logical, but is also entirely conjecture. Not this time. Detective London's testimony established the possibility. Remember when what the good Detective London testified earlier?
Rogers had already apprehended the suspect, so we focused on securing the area. Sunshine and I cleared the first floor. All the rooms were empty, but one was unlocked. Can you teach me how to speak brackets out loud later?
Two police detectives have sworn that one vault on the first floor is found unlocked. Unlocked perhaps by a spare master key?
Is that some kind of big deal?
Your Honor, what Counselor Morgan is proposing would put the witness behind Officer Chopin and Rogers as they proceeded upstairs. Not a bad place to be if you want to do some backstabbing. You gotta be shitting me. That's some creative geometry you're employing, Counselor. Imagine the witness is somehow getting positioned behind Tariq Chopin, yet somehow remaining invisible to the eyes of Officer Rogers. Ugh, that's... I gotta go for a second. I'll be right back. All right, we are back. Sorry about that. Let's see. Non-Euclidean crime scene recreation. Very novel. Hello, Crashing. Welcome to the stream. Her insult sounded really smart, so I'm inclined to agree. I thought I had something when I tried to put the cards on the table. How could Han have gotten behind Chopin on the 3rd floor? Was Rogers distracted at the window, maybe? Or... Wrong question. I'm getting ahead of myself trying to work backwards at this point. I shouldn't ask what Han could have done to get in a position where she was able to kill Chopin. I should first ask what Han would have done to serve her own interests. Your Honor, there's some testimony I'd like the court to hear once more. If you could access the stenography protocol. The what protocol? Was I supposed to be taking minutes for this meeting? I can recall any testimony you want to review, Adonai. If Han won't self-incriminate, then the only testimony that give me a clue as to her actions would be... We gotta get Rogers. Recite Rogers' testimony from yesterday. Start from after they entered the building. What are you fishing for?
We heard a loud slam. Chopin gets all deadly serious and insists I stay, and he goes ahead.
That's it. The sound Rogers heard from the alley. The one that made Chopin want to form a pincer. That must have been when Han... moved the dumpster. When Han moved the dumpster in order to get the spare key. After the first officers on scene already destroyed the lock? Well, no, that would be silly of her. Yeah, she'd certainly have egg on her face. God damn it. Ah, fuck fairies. Can't imagine who. I'll have to rephrase. That was when Han landed on the dumpster. The sound the officers heard was that of someone fleeing the scene. Out the window, down the fire escape, and onto the dumpster. It's a bit of a drop. Even a dainty suspect would make quite the racket using the dumpster lid to break their fall. Your Honor, if we have to entertain this thread of conjecture, might we at least ask for proof that it ends somewhere impactful? I hear ya. Counselor Morgan, take this one seriously. You're telling me that? What exactly are you accusing this witness of? Are you prepared to accuse Han of having murdered Tariq Chopin? Damn it, they got me second guessing myself here. Huh. If my theory is right, then it was the sound of Han fleeing the scene that caused the cops to split up. In other words, at the time she left, Chopin was still alive. No, she's been uncooperative and has lied on the witness stand. Really? Then who could it possibly be? Rogers? But she didn't kill anyone. Woof. That was anticlimactic. I mean, perjury, who even cares?
Perhaps now, Your Honor, the court can get back on track and bring this witness's testimony to a close. And considering the fact that she may very well have perjured herself, I think it might be a better use of the court's time if we cleared the room for the remainder of this witness's testimony.
No objections, Your Honor.
Okie dokie. Bailiffs, clear the gallery and move the defendant to a holding room.
They're forcing us out. What the hell?
Hey, tag along, would you...
With Sosuke?
Can't let someone with a concussion fall asleep, right?
I am certainly not still concussed at this point.
See? He's delirious. Trust me.
Very well, Adonai. Good luck.
Place empties out faster than I thought. Damn, who could it possibly... Is it actually Rogers?
No gallery, no jury live feed, no bells and whistles. You just give your testimony to the defense, the people, and moi. Then when you're done, I get to watch them argue over whether or not I should add it to the record.
So, you think I got something contentious to say? Sorry. It's just gonna be more of the cold shoulder. What I think is that you're scared. The hell? Of what? Who? You? An audience? What, the pigs? You think I give a shit about what any of them thinks, says, does? Even if any one of them might lead what you say back to the old guard.
What's an old guard?
The ruling faction among the Blue Bloods, who use young bloods like this witness as their cannon fodder.
Where'd you learn all that? You been at a late dine special?
Knowing how much you just learned all this from... Matter of fact, I did. Old guard knows where my lords lie. I ain't no snitch. So now there's someone to snitch on. I don't help state prosecutors, and I definitely don't help Ikarian lawyers. The court's already emptied out. We can sit here in silence if you'd like. 15 minutes of nothing, and then you walk out. But when you do, someone's gonna make assumptions about what went on in here. Tell me I'm screwed if I do, screwed if I don't. Exactly got me feeling. Sosuke didn't kill Creek. Maybe you don't care if an Akkadian dog goes down for a crime he didn't commit, but how do you feel about the person who did put the hole in Creek's chest toasting to the news of the verdict? Screw this. 9:47 p.m. night of murders, I got the alarm on my phone. Knows Creek because all the whistles have specific frequencies. Gotta send them to your device if you want to listen in for him. Creek had nerves like ice, strong bluffer. Wouldn't press that button unless he absolutely had to. I ran. Was fastest that way on foot, usually is in low wards. I knew where the spare key was. Helped set up the whole damn place, doors, keys, soundproofing. Stepped inside just to got my phone light out when those two idiot cops came up. Reds and blues, but no siren. Trying to be some kind of movie shit. I thought they were gonna shoot me. Then I heard Chopin getting ready to break the lock, and I knew they were gonna shoot me. Used a spare key on the nearest vault, dipped inside and prayed they would just head straight upstairs. Lucky for me, they did. You followed after them? At a distance, but yeah. Saw their boots on stairs, shoulders around corners. They split on the second floor. One went upstairs. He was quiet, except for that squeak on the fourth step. Creek used to joke that was a valuable security feature. They separated on the second floor without any prompting.
One was stomping around on the second floor, so I was able to keep my distance. I always knew exactly where that one was. Then one shouted down. He shouted, saying that everyone was dead. That must have been Chopin, just before Sosuke snuck up on him. I like Creek. His boys were alright too. But I did not want to join them in Red Hood's company. So I didn't risk sticking around a second longer. I opened that window on the second floor and jumped for the ground. I was willing to hurt my knees, fall on my ass if I had to. But I ended up smacking the dumpster instead. Guy on the second floor shouted after me. They're in the alley. I heard window slide open above me, footsteps in the fire escape. My knees stopped shaking and the fog was with me. They never saw me. You're saying you never even set foot on the third floor? Not until I came back hours later as Cyanus ref now. Where's the spare key now? Bottom of the bay at the moment. Hell of a throwing arm, as you can see. I ain't gonna help you go snorkel around for it if that's what you're asking. Well then, the people thank you for your testimony. You've cleared up a number of oddities surrounding this case. Though none of the answers you provided have changed the fundamental facts of what the defendant is accused of. Not quite. She was in and out, counselor. Didn't even set foot upstairs. I know. Not until she came back to secure the scene, right? Not with it, counselor. There is no need for theatrics without the jury or gallery here. I'm still here. I do appreciate the witness being so forthcoming about her first visit to the scene. Now I just need to start explaining why she started covering up evidence when she returned. What are you talking about? Why go to such effort to hide one small scrap of paper? What is that? More trash, seriously? That's exactly what it is. Trash! Garbage! Some idiot knocked over a trash can on the second floor. It's a big building, this stuff happens! Still don't want to answer? That's okay, I will. You covered up that scrap of paper because it implicates you as an accomplice. Didn't see that coming. Because it's nonsensical, Your Honor. Counselor, you just got done explaining how Han arrived after the pod was killed and left before Chopin died. Not an accomplice to murder. Just the mafia equivalent of leaking government secrets. Even though the papers were almost entirely illegible, it only took 4 characters for the P492 plan to blow up in court yesterday. Years of blue blood planning all down the drain, because Creek was reading something he shouldn't have when he died. But if he shouldn't have had it in the first place, one has to wonder where he might have gotten it. All because of that one goddamn watermark. Identical to the one on your own business card. Sienna Security. Well, thank you so much, Rock says. For the membership. Oh, well, that's great. That's fine if you can start short on time. Oh, thank you so much for the membership, Rock says. Sienna Security. You leaked the red ink? Craig never asked nobody for nothing. Dumbass was a giver. Gave money, food, blood, more than any of us. Enough that the weaker ones wouldn't have to get stuck.
Guy like that came to a two-faced con hostess like me and asked for help. That red ink is radioactive. Anyone caught with it, why would he ask you for it? Old guard knew Creek was charismatic, brave, smart, everything they feared in a young blood. But they also knew Creek made them too much money for them to starve. So the old guard decided to wear them down instead. More jobs than any other crew, more responsibilities. Less downtime, no sleep. Keep them too tired to have time to rebel, then wait for them to screw up. So you can make an example of them when they do. Managers would do the same thing when their hosts got too full of themselves. Started thinking they were the ones bringing in the money, they were the ones who should keep it. Just put them on the grind. Grind them into dust. One old bastard had them trying to grab that Ikoria kid or whatever. At the same time, another expecting to do some kind of arms handoff to a big shot.
Oh, there's the mask.
At least that was a rumor. Look, point is, Creek knew they had a target on their back already, so they wanted some kind of deterrent. They could have dropped that red ink in any inbox in town like a tactical nuke if they had to. But maybe that's why they fired their missiles first. You think the old guard killed Creek? I don't think it was that pretty boy Hound nursing those broken bones. Did he off Chopin guy though? I mean, I'd kill a stuck-up spoiled prick like that for no motive, so... Did that answer your questions, counselor? Not the most burning one. When did this scrap of paper arrive on the second floor? Wasn't there when I ran out that window.
It was dark and you were panicked. How could you even have noticed?
Paper's white. If you had seen it, would you have taken it? You kidding? Yeah, of course I would have taken it. Would have eaten the damn paper to make sure.
Why didn't you simply eat the damn paper later when you did see it?
Removing an item from an ARC scan building would set off any number of red flags. And the first thing that would happen if they wind the clock back to see what it was. That's what I did. Look back to see how the hell I missed it. Damn thing was never picked the ARC's head right from the beginning. Knocking over trash to hide it was the best I could do. Low reward survival tactics, high numbers.
Oh, goddammit. I gotta go quickly. I'll be right back. Sorry.
Sorry. I'm dealing with kids. I choose. If the scrap wasn't on the second floor when you left, but it was in the arcs from the start, that means Reyes' body cam saw it by the second floor windowsill. The one that connected to the fire escape. Your Honor, I believe we're done with this witness. Even though all we've managed to establish is that someone went to from the third floor to the second floor without taking the stairwell. Someone circled around.
You got all that from one paper? Am I stupid?
Just because those papers originated on the third floor. If that scrap was found by the windowsill, someone could have taken the fire escape. Exactly. Could have. Someone could have. But obviously they didn't, because then they would have run right into...
Dr. Sato! She has some evidence or DNA or whatever.
Hello, Twat. Welcome to the stream.
Maybe even updated autopsy report if you even care. Should we let her in?
Your Honor, you're the one overseeing the trial, so...
So I can cry if I want to. Open her up. And kick the flirt out.
Hey, Miss Morgan? That Akarian dog didn't kill Crick's pa. No, he didn't. You gonna find out who did? Not your job, huh? Guess I deserve that. So they pretty much... Okay, so this is how they dismiss about who killed all the gangsters. So they got him off for the 4 crimes that Morgan did, but now the most important one. Damn. Finding Creek's killer is not technically my job either, huh? But if they're brought before me, I can promise I won't hold anything back. Appreciate the sentiment. I ain't gonna hold my breath. And I won't tell any of the other youngbloods to hold theirs. Lots of news to break. I'll leave the interpretation of the good and the bad to you two.
That's cool. Just imply I'm the ugly. It's fine.
Counselor Morgan's hypothesis stands. This knife matches Miller's entry wound. Well, how about that? And it matches the wound better than the katana, considering what we discussed yesterday. I'd be ready to say this is definitively the murder weapon used to stab Miller. But I've had no more luck with DNA testing than Sarah did. You weren't able to get anything. Nothing in the range of admissibility. However, like Sarah, I was also able to perform blood type analysis on the blade. And while I also found AB- and B- samples on it, I found one more blood type as well, A+. Chopin! Huh. Mirai also has A+. And Rogers has AB-. Huh. But we know for sure it was Miller. I mean, sorry. 3 people cut with one... Oh, 3 people cut with one knife. This can't be hygienic. As long as you don't stick it in your mouth, you should be fine.
Oh, poor Sarah. A plus blood. Who was there that night that had A plus blood? Oh. Your Honor, these findings bring a rather alarming fact to light. If Dr. Sato believes that Miller was most likely stabbed by this knife and not the katana, that means that this knife was also the source of Miller's blood on Sosuke's bindings. So either my client killed 4 men while cycling between a gun, a sword, a bat, and now a knife, with his wrists tied together, all before ever stopping to cut his bindings. Or he was still in captivity when the Blue Bloods were killed.
But wait, that almost sounds like...
An alibi for 4 of the 5 murders!
That is not an alibi, Your Honor.
Merely an increasingly strong shadow of a doubt?
The jury can decide that for themselves. The facts surrounding Tariq Chopin's death still stand. Sosuke Akari was the only living individual in the room Chopin was killed in. Sosuke Akari is the only person with his fingerprints on the katana. Something he corroborated with his very own testimony just a short while ago. And the defense's theorized fleeing suspect has already been revealed as incapable of committing any of these crimes.
Yes, but unfortunately for the people's case against my client, there is evidence that completely overturns our understanding of how Chopin died. The knife! The knife Dr. Sato confirmed this was used on Miller. Very likely used to kill Miller, yes. But definitely used to kill Chopin. And that's why whoever had the knife chucked it in the garbage, because they used it to kill Chopin.
What? What are you going on about?
Blood typing. Chopin is the only victim with A+ blood. Even my client, Sosuke, has AB- blood. Yet Dr. Sato just told us that A+ blood was found on this knife.
That blood could have come from...
Nowhere but the single fatal wound identified on his autopsy.
He was literally stabbed in the back. Wow. Chopin's blood was all over that scene. The knife could have fallen into it at any point.
Check. Not at any point, no. This knife was removed from the crime scene and never seen by ARCs. That means it had been moved into the alley before Detective Reyes arrived on the 3rd floor.
But Chopin was impaled by the sword. We've all seen it.
Yes, but not fatally.
How could that stab wound not be fatal?
Because it was post-mortem.
You're basing this on the blood? Usually closely follows a stabbing, yeah. It's the amount of blood, Your Honor. An impalement doesn't leave much blood at the scene because the weapon acts as a stopper. I assume the amount of blood at the scene was the result of the sword being jostled afterwards, because the wound had been aggravated.
But this knife turns that idea on its head.
Yes, Chopin was stabbed in the heart from behind, but it was most likely with this knife. He collapsed on the floor dead, and then the knife was removed, and his corpse was impaled with the sword in the same wound,
leaving a mark on the floor.
The sword was only then moved around, increasing the wound size and masking the initial knife's entry wound, while utterly soaking the floor in blood.
It's a possibility.
If I may, Your Honor, this may be just a possibility, but it's the possibility that makes the most sense to me.
It explains the irregularities with the victim's substantial blood loss, the pattern of the wound, and the indentation on the floor. It might make medical sense, Dr. Sato, but the sequence of actions you described are not those of a rational human. Huh? But wanting to frame Sosuke for the murder seems pretty reasonable. And stabbing the corpse with his katana would be the best way to do that. Nope. Nope. I'm sure it occurred to them that the sword would point to Sosuke, but if their primary goal was framing him, all they have to do is put the knife in his hands. That's true. Swapping out the murder weapon and disposing of the knife is 2 to 4 times as much work. That many more chances to make a mistake. It's nonsensical. Stabbing Chopin's corpse with the katana didn't help them frame Sosuke. So what did it achieve?
It made a big mess some poor schmuck would have to clean up.
It ruined the papers, the Reading papers. Yes, that's... Chopin's blood nearly destroyed all the Reading docs at the scene. But who says that's a coincidence? What if Chopin was stabbed twice? Just so that his blood would cover up the Reading docs. This is insane. Makes sense to me. No, not your logic for the stabbing. This idea of yours that Tariq Chopin was part of some kind of conspiracy to defraud the city. Agreed, that is insane. I believe just the opposite.
You... what?
Tariq Chopin was an unpopular, straight-laced political aspirant working as a cop only to improve his electability. His personality, his family, his goals, he'd have every reason to blow the whistle on Prop 492.
And just get the whole project cancelled?
Leaving the lower wards in an underdeveloped lurch. A lot of people would hate to see that happen. A lot of blue bloods. But the son of 2 city councilmen wouldn't care. And Nikaria, like my client, would be actively rooting for it.
You think Chopin was murdered just to cover up the fact that Prop 492 had been corrupted?
Just. All that money left on the table. All the future money coming down the line. That's a much better motive than... What was it you proposed exactly? That my client saw a police officer and would rather stab him than accept to explain why he'd killed his captors? Something along those lines.
So, like, what's going on now? Did Sosuke do it or not?
That will be cleared up in very short order, Your Honor. With the help of our final witness. Oh, dang.
So Yoru wasn't even really used to frame me. It was used to draw more blood from the wound to soak the papers.
A very cold decision to make in the heat of the moment. Defiling a corpse just to protect investments.
Colder than stabbing someone in the back?
In some ways.
Didn't think that was up for debate.
Damn, was it really Rogers?
Thank you for joining us once again, Officer Rogers.
No problem. Where is everybody, though?
He's gonna transform, isn't he?
Well, after the shooting yesterday, I'd rather not risk the integrity or celerity of this trial by rescreening every member of the gallery when I've already cleared the room once.
Celerity.
Speed! Trial's gotta go fast, baby! And it takes everyone a while to find their spot in the stands again.
We were almost caught in the line of fire not 24 hours ago, Officer Rogers. Yourself included. Surely you don't find the lack of an audience to be intimidating.
Nah, I guess not.
Where'd we leave off with this guy anyway?
I believe that lawyer over there had just accused my late partner of being on the take for the Blue Bloods.
I was merely exploring a possibility raised by the witness's sworn statement, Your Honor, that he never heard any gunshots in the area himself.
And I stand by that.
Good.
Does the defense have questions for this witness, Your Honor? Or should we all continue to glare at one another for the rest of the day? Tempting, but I guess we'd better not.
Your Honor, we ask that the witness testify once more about how he and his partner arrived on the scene. I think this actually might be a good place to stop. Because, I think there's probably going to be... Damn. Like, I want to continue, but I also don't want the last stream to be too short and, like, pretty much all post-culprit stuff. Huh. Like, post-trial over stuff. Like, it'll probably be shorter than normal, but I'd like it to be at least a decently normal length, so I think I'm going to stop it here. So we can have our final stream of the devil, at least until the next case is released, and see exactly what the truth happened was about after Officer Chopin's death. Whew! This has been a crazy one. And guys, seriously, I was about to say Your Honor because I'm so used to seeing it in there. All right, you guys. Until next time, I will say so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night. You're